Welcome back here to Ridgefield Middle School as we head to inning number 5. Shelby Early will lead it off here for Orono as the Spartans have seen their lead now trimmed to 2-1 after Wayzata. You know, all things considered, though, I think for Orono, not too bad to get out of that last inning with only 1 run scoring.
Well, it's interesting. Orono, being aggressive, has tried to score 2 runs where they've been out, but yet they've got 2 runs in. Wayzata's tried to be aggressive, scoring a couple runs. 1 they got in and 1 they were thrown out. So both teams have come to try and make something happen. Something else I think is real interesting is 2 big players for Orono. You got Shelby Early, she's a sophomore. You got Becky Smith, she's a sophomore. 2 key positions. I think that's going to keep Orono looking good for a couple years.
And the pitcher who started, Berg, also a 10th grader for them, and then Hartman, who is not a sophomore but a junior, who came in relief. So, like we were saying earlier, they've got a chance to be a pretty good ball team for a couple of years here. Early has done damage already, as you saw, 2 for 2. And nice play at short, throw to first, goes in time. Gemistad with a gem. Much like Smith had earlier the other way, this one up the middle, and a great play by Anna Gemistad. Reaching out, turns, throws, and got her at first. Good stretch too by Kleist.
I like the way she twisted to let her momentum, give her some strength, bring that strength into the throw and throw the runner out at first. That was a wonderful play.
Maddie Ahrens is the batter now. She is 0 for 1, also a sacrifice.
Ahrens a sophomore as well.
Swings away, knocks it back at Jess Williams, and the throw to first. There are 2 outs. And Becky Smith will be the hitter. Wayzata maybe trying to carry that offensive momentum into this inning defensively too, and they want to get those bats up there and going again.
Well, Jessica Williams has really settled in since she gave up the 2 runs and is pitching good. And she was really pitching pretty good when she gave up the 2 runs. It was just a couple pitches I think she got up a little high, and hats off to Orono for capitalizing on them.
Smith, a rocket to left, and the catch is made. What a job by Buell. I thought that one was going to sink and hit grass, but instead it's caught. No runs, no hits, and no one left for Orono in the 5th. We'll go to the bottom half of inning number 5. Still 2-1 Spartans.
For others, it may have just been a summer job. But for me, it was training. Now I'm an Air Force pararescueman, and my job is to save lives. Make the right choices today and be ready for the challenges tomorrow. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
Behind the wheel, there is no such thing as a small distraction. A public service reminder from the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons. Speak out against distracted driving at decidetodrive.org.
Cut and a miss here by Alex Combs on the opening pitch of the bottom half of inning number 5 here. Wayzata has the 2-3-4 hitters, Combs, Kleist, and Williams batting against Samantha Hartman, who came on in relief in that last inning for Orono. And offered at that one and didn't get it. Look at this diving catch in left field, and it was a nice one. Buell getting the glove down and making the play.
A well-played game, a lot of great defensive plays.
And as we were talking, there's a swing and a miss, and Combs down on strikes. We were talking between innings. It was a little bit of a gamble, too. If she doesn't catch that ball, it might very well go by her and all the way to the fence.
Good instincts, and she made the right choice. It's not always you do make the right choice.
Another look as she went up the ladder there and got Combs to chase one up. Kleist, the hitter, takes a strike. Boy, Hartman, a hard thrower as well. They've got a pretty good righty-lefty combo.
What a nice advantage to have a right-hander and then switch over to a left-hander. Everybody on the hitting team can see the pitcher once, switch pitchers. You don't get another fresh look at her, and you got another one with a thrown off a different hand.
Down to second. Routine play there, and it is made as Peterson flips to first. And Jess Williams will be the batter now for Wayzata.
Well, Mike Carter looks awfully smart switching pitchers when he did, doesn't he, Jay?
Yeah, when it works out like that, you can't argue with that, that's for sure. And as we talked at the time, I think they just really sensed how important getting out of that inning would be. And so you come in with a lefty versus a righty. You come in with an experienced pitcher who's pitched a lot of ball for you, so probably wasn't going to be too phased by the spot she came in. And fouled it out of play here by Williams.
Something tells me there's still a lot of fast pitch yet to be played.
Low with that one.
Well, whoever this home plate ump is, he's sure doing a good job. He's consistent with his calls.
And Williams with a big swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Reaches out, pokes it, but it's snared by Peterson, the second baseman. And the Trojans go 1, 2, 3 in the 5th. No runs, no hits, no one left. We go to inning number 6. Orono 2 and Wayzata 1.
One day these rats were playing in the woods. Wanted some matches and that's no good. Listen to smoke before you give it a try. Only you. Don't play with matches. Don't play with fire. Cause there's nothing very funny about freaked out life. Nothing very nice on a homeless mind. So if a gorgeous force is what you desire, don't play with matches. Don't play with fire. Yeah.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Fire.
Dear Abby, I'm scared. I think my mom is showing signs of Alzheimer's disease. What should I do? Signed, Frightened. Dear Frightened, when my mom first began showing signs of memory loss, I was scared too. So I called the Alzheimer's Association for help. I'm Dear Abby. If you or someone you love is experiencing memory loss, take my advice. Contact the Alzheimer's Association. They help families like ours.
And we go to the top of the 6th. Orono will have their 4, 5, 6 hitters coming up. They continue to hold a 1-run lead here on Wayzata. Wayzata the number 1 seed, Orono the number 3 seed coming in. You know, it had to be a little bit of an interesting thing. I'm not entirely sure whether they're using some kind of point system for this section or whether they just kind of see the old-fashioned way, but had to be a little hard to stomach if you're Orono to have one loss coming in. Okay, granted, you didn't play the same schedule as these other teams, but Wayzata and Hopkins were up near double digits in losses. I could see if it was one loss versus, say, 4, but when they've got, you have to wonder if that didn't put a chip on their shoulder a little bit to say, well, what would we possibly do to be #1 seed if 20-1 isn't as good as 11-9 or whatever, you know, close to something along those lines.
Well, the coaches of Orono probably use that to their advantage. They said, look, we're not getting the respect we deserve, so if you want to get the respect that we deserve, let's go out there and play like it. And they sure are.
Yep.
Well, you know, Jack Thibault's getting him ready. You know, Mike Carter's doing a great job. And, of course, nobody likes fast pitch more than Jack.
Jack coaching over at first base and was did most of our games as the commentator last year with us. It was good to see Jack again here. I guess our loss is Orono's gain, though, really, is what I said, and that's very true. Really? Mackenzie Williams, the hitter now. She is 1 for 2, blasted a solo homer in the first, and drives this one into left field for a base hit. I was going to say that home run that she hit back then, at the time you thought, you know, maybe there'd be quite a few more runs scored, but right now as it stands, that would be the winning hit or winning run. Jess Flackney's going to hit, but I think we're going to have a pinch runner at first base for Williams here. It's obviously not a courtesy runner because she's not the pitcher or the catcher, but it looks like they're going to substitute a runner in for her. And catch the number here. Looks like it'll be Erin Gary, number 10, who will run.
Well, Williams didn't look like she was real excited about coming out of the game, but I think you got to respect that. She's a gamer. Yeah,
and almost certainly she'll be reinserted defensively, but you get some speed out there, and that's the thing that sometimes players forget about or whatever. If you're not in the regular lineup, there are other things you can do to make sure that you get a little time, including being a good base runner would be one, and also if you can make sure you're bunting well. And you're going to scratch out a batter's box line here as Flackney getting set to step in there, and Wayzata may have asked to get that clarified, that they felt Orono maybe had a hitter or two that wasn't quite in the box.
Well, number 10, Erin Gary gets in the game, and she's a sophomore, and here's an opportunity for her to do something, show the coaches what she can do.
Bunting puts it down to first. Kleist applies the tag, and that's all they'll get there as the runner moves up to second. So Flackney bunting it right at the first baseman, but she does get the sacrifice down.
Well, for the younger kids watching the game, Kleist tags the runner at first with the ball in the glove and the bare hand protecting the ball, making it stay in the glove. She's got 2 hands on that thing. It's not going to pop out of her glove when she does that.
So Emily Gielan will be the hitter. She is 2 for 2. Good job again by Orono getting that bunt down. I have to admit it's a bit of a pet peeve of mine when I watch baseball or softball and see so many kids unable to get the bunt down. You know, I'm not saying it's like the easiest thing in the world, but if you work at it, you should be able to get a bunt down.
I agree with you. What I find amazing is how many kids will drop the fat part below the thin part, and once you do that, your bunting skills just become ineffective. Got to keep that fat part maybe a little above the thin part, or at worst equal to.
Gielan wrapping it to third. Reagan Williams running over there, but nobody coming, so they will not get an out of it. Gielan is aboard on a fielder's choice, and I'm not sure if Williams thought her shortstop, you know, seeing her out of the corner of her eye was the base runner coming.
Or I'm not so sure she understood how many runners were on base. I think she may have thought that there was a runner on first and second, and she had it for us.
Yeah, I think you're right. Looking at that again, I thought at first she was fooled by the motion of her teammate, but I think you're right. So really a mistake there for Wayzata. They don't, you know, sure they keep the lead runner at second, but you really need to get an out there. Hartman, the hitter, fouling this one back.
It just shows you how important the mental aspect of the game as well as the physical aspect.
Ripped down to second, and it gets away. A run might score here. Throw to the plate, not in time. 3-1 Orono. Very hard hit ball, and Combs not able to come up with it. E4, and runners at first and second for the Spartans.
Too bad Combs couldn't have kept this ball in front of her. I think that would have kept might have kept the run from scoring. I doubt it, though. Gary
wheeling around. Wayzata, no real chance to get her there, so the run scores. And
no, she might have been able to keep the run from scoring.
Amanda Peterson will be the batter. We're going to have a runner coming in for the pitcher here. So Megan Gary will be the runner at first base. Peterson hits first and second, 1 out. A run is in for Orono. They lead now 3-1. Peterson, a strikeout and a flyout. Takes the ball up high.
It's 7-6 over there. I mean 7-0.
Got a cut and a miss, 1-1.
Williams still looks like she's very composed pitching. She doesn't look rattled.
There's a strike. One-two count here to Peterson. Skies it foul and out of play. Knocked down, and Kleist can't make the play. Might have been a better chance for Combs, but Kleist, hard for her to know that really. She just made a great effort at it. Peterson will reach on an infield hit. I think Wayzata probably had a decent chance to get an out. The only problem is nobody would be able to cover even if the ball gets to Combs. Kleist wasn't going to be able to get back up in time, and the pitcher wouldn't have been able to get there in time either. So as it worked out, I don't know that they would have really been able to get an out either way.
Looked like a hit either way, Jay.
Yep, just well placed, a great effort by Kleist. My first thought was that she had, kind of made a mistake, not a bad mistake, it was more a mistake of hustle by not letting it go through the second baseman. But in looking at that again, how were they going to get an out anywhere there? I don't think they were going to.
Well, Wayzata's in a tough spot right now. I think what Jessica Williams needs badly is a strikeout. And I think if she get it, maybe they can keep the damage to a minimum. If she doesn't strike her out, I think it could be a problem.
Walkman, the hitter, she did strike out her last time up. Base is full, 1 out. Orono leading 3-1. Takes a strike.
Well, with Orono's aggressiveness, I don't know if I'd be surprised to see a suicide squeeze bunt here.
Chopper, Williams to the plate for one. Throw to first, not in time. So they get one and nearly a double play. Walkman aboard on the fielder's choice. Well executed by Wayzata. Quick chop. Palish comes out firing and safe at first.
Nice try, nice heads-up play by the catcher to go to one. I don't think she could have had her on the best day, but she sure made a nice try at it. It was a nice reaction by Williams to get the ball home right away.
Early the batter now. Base is still full, but 2 outs. And a little foul will get out of play. Early 2 for 3. Single in the first, double in the third. Big out recorded there by Wayzata. I mean, yes, you would have liked to get 2 out of it if you could, but certainly to get that lead runner and add the 1 more out on the board was big. Palish, a good block there. That one could have easily scored a run if she didn't make a good play. Liner, and that one's going to get through for a hit. 1 run is in, and second runner will be held up. So 4-1 Orono as Megan Gary comes in to score. Base hit for Early. She is 3 for 4. And you see the throw coming in up the line. I was a little bit surprised they held up, considering how aggressive they've been. And in hindsight, that throw was not exactly perfect. Wayzata is going to make some change here, it looks like.
Well, Orono seemed to be just a little inconsistent, like you say, with their aggressiveness. They're very, very aggressive in their base running today. And, of course, Mike Carter probably knows a little bit more about his runner on third than we do, and probably had a good decision.
Well, looks like Edblom's going to come in to pitch. Allie Kirk is going to right field, and Williams will come out of the game. So Wayzata going to make a pitching change. Jess Williams getting a hand from the Wayzata fans, but their team now down 4-1. We'll get Edblom to warm up. We'll come back in just a moment here. Spartans up now by 3 runs in the 6th.
Life in the oceans depends on you. Do your part to keep them clean. Recycle and dispose of trash properly. To learn what you can do, go to keepoceansclean.org.
Hi, this is Mark Anthony Farad, recording artist, actors, and athletes against drunk driving. Music is one of the most important things in my life, but nothing is more important than life itself. When you do drink and drive, you risk not only your life, but the lives of everybody on the road. So choose a designated driver. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
This game, but this certainly much different circumstances than the last time when they were breezing to a win over Cooper. And this time trailing 4-1. Bases loaded up for Orono still. 2 outs, top of the 6th. And Maddie Aaron's at the plate.
Big out here for Wayzata.
Lifts it over third. And it's a fair ball and a run will score. Aaron's just flicking that one over third. Of course, the third baseman against the slap hitter especially is pulled way up. And not much they could do about this one.
Well executed.
Little flip to third hits the runner, but there was no out available to be had there for Wayzata. So 5-1, Becky Smith the hitter. Smith to short, that'll be through for a hit. 1 run's in, here comes run number 2. Orono breaking it open, it is 7-1. Another look, a little bit of a near miss there, certainly with the runner early. And Gimstad, they did not make contact though, so no interference. It was close, but.
Well, there's a situation where Early's paying attention. She's not going to let that ball hit her.
And Wayzata's going to have a little conference here as Mackenzie Williams gets set to bat here for the Spartans. Game can turn in a hurry here. Boy, was it just a tight 2-1 nail-biter for last couple innings, and all of a sudden now, Orono has 5 runs on the board in the 6th inning, and they're not done yet necessarily. 2nd and 3rd and 2 outs, but a good hitter up. Williams back up the middle. That's a base hit. 1 run is in, and they're going to hold the 2nd runner, Smith, at 3rd, but Mackenzie Williams delivering again. She's 3 for 4 now. Singles in errands, 8-1 Spartans.
Well, for Wayzata, this is the only bad inning they've really had this afternoon out of 13 innings. They played awfully well.
Flackney, the batter now for Orono, and boy, this last out of this inning has just been real hard to come by for Wayzata. There's a strike. Flackney 0 for 2 with a sacrifice today. A little bit inside with that, and as you saw, that sacrifice was this inning, so they have now sent 11 to the plate. Williams has 2 base hits in this inning alone. Big cut and a miss.
I can't remember when that error occurred by Megan Williams when she went back to 3rd. That was this inning, but I think that was would have been a big out at 1.
In the dirt there, Palish digs it out. Chop to 3rd. Reagan Williams up with it. Fires across in time. Flackney is out, but the damage is done. Spartans put 6 runs on the board in the inning. They now take an 8-1 lead into the bottom of the 6th.
Cockroaches trigger asthma attacks and spread salmonella. Mice transmit disease and contaminate food. Bed bugs feast on blood undetected and can leave trails of itchy red swollen welts. Learn more about the health risks posed by these and other pests at pestworld.org.
I knew at first that I got hurt pretty bad because I couldn't move my legs.
Captain Eric Lawrence was training Afghan soldiers when his truck was hit by an IED.
I sat home alone for months. I didn't want that anymore. I wanted to go back to work. I don't want to be a drain on society. I want to be a positive thing in society. PBA helped me write my resume, got me a job interview. I got the job.
Paralyzed Veterans of America, changing lives, building futures.
Complexion of this one has really changed at that huge inning for Orono. They now lead 8-1. 2 more at-bats available here for Wayzata, but they need to get some things going here. Kirk, Edblom, and Buell will be the hitters for the Trojans. The 5, 6, 7 spots in their order. Kirk is 0 for 2 today. Second pitcher of the game to work, Sam Hartman for Orono, and that one's way up high.
Well, Hartman's got a lot of breathing room here.
Comebacker, Hartman fields, fires to first. One gone. She has pitched quite well since coming in. I mean, Gimmelstead got that little infield hit that she couldn't flag down on the first batter she saw, but overall, a superb job. And when you look at the final score, you're going to kind of forget just how tough a spot that she came in.
Very
at
difficult.
that time. You know, the game was Wayzata had the momentum. They did get one run on that comebacker, and then that was it. They got the out at the second runner on that play.
Looks very composed, relaxed, effortless, doing a nice job.
Edblom, who is now the pitcher for Wayzata, 1 for 2, smoked a double in the fourth, scored their only run.
Hartman keeping the ball real low here against Edblom.
There's a strike.
For all these kids at home that are watching this game, I hope they pay attention to Shelby early and how she, every pitch, gets that ball back to the pitcher with a nice hard throw. It's a kid who's really paying attention. He's got a lot of good discipline in her game.
I think a little thing like that makes your whole team play crisper too, doesn't it? I mean, nothing worse than when the throw sails back or it takes forever to get there, or you make your pitcher jump around for it, things like that. Swing and a miss there by Edblom, and now 2 outs. Might have gotten a little piece of this one, but held on to. So 2 gone, and Buell will be the batter. She has been productive, a walk and a single. But it's starting to look like top seed Wayzata is going to have to battle their way back through the losers bracket here. Again, the Trojans, if they do lose this one, not done, not out of the tournament, but they would be saddled with a loss.
Yeah, it looks like Hopkins might beat Orono in that other game that's going on as we're watching this game. So it looks like at this point it might be Hopkins and Wayzata, good matchup, and see who comes back to play Orono.
There's a strike. Just protecting there, fights that one off. Foul on the first baseline. And Wayzata and Hopkins in the Lake Conference, because there's only 5 teams, they play each other 3 times regular season. So they've already met 3 times. A comebacker fielded there, and a quick 1-2-3 inning registered by Hartman. No runs, no hits, no one left for Wayzata in the 6th. We go to inning number 7. Orono in command at 8-1.
At age 34, Peter Herrick joined the Navy Reserve and was deployed to Iraq.
When the mortar round hit, I was completely knocked out.
When he returned home, Paralyzed Veterans of America was there to help.
We advocate, we educate, and we process claims through the VA, and we follow that claim from the beginning to the end.
Without Paralyzed Veterans of America, I really honestly believe I'd still be in the hospital.
You can help our paralyzed veterans. To learn more, visit pva.org.
Okay.
Right. It's an 8-1 ball game here as we go to inning number 7. Emily Gielan will lead it off for Orono as they blew this one open with a 6-run 6th inning. It was a tight 2-1 battle until last time around, and Wayzata just couldn't seem to get that last out. Finally did, but the damage had been done. So Orono now working with a sizable advantage here with 1 inning to play, trying to move into that section final round. Elan's 2 out of 3 today, working against Edblom now, the second Wayzata pitcher. Ooh, and a liner right at Reagan Williams, the third baseman. So 1 gone here in the 7th. I don't know that I'd have enough guts to play fast pitch third base. The way they have to be in so tight for slappers and bunters, and then you get that happening.
Well, I remember when my daughter was 14 and played third base, and she just had her braces removed, and all I thought of was, here we go, fix more teeth.
Sam Hartman stepping in here for Orono, and she's made the ball tough on fielders. She's been on twice on errors, so whatever magic she has in her bat has made Wayzata have trouble picking the ball up when she's hit. One by the shortstop, one by the second baseman. And as I recall, they were both fairly hard hit balls, though. I mean, more or less at the fielders, but they were hit hard. And that one's going to be through for a base hit. So Hartman getting her first official base hit, but on now for the 3rd time. And Amanda Peterson will be the batter. I think we're going to have a courtesy runner again coming out for Hartman, who's now the pitcher, and it is Megan Gary.
Hard hit ball up the middle.
And once that one gets by the pitcher, there's nobody there that can make a play on that. Peterson, the hitter, back to the pitcher, Edblom. She's going to go to second with it. Ooh, and they just get the out. She had a little hesitation, was going to throw to first, and then turned and threw to the shortstop covering there. So they get the out, but barely. Peterson on a fielder's choice.
Boy, usually that hesitation will cost you the out, too.
And Ellie Walkman will be the batter here for Orono. Knocks it toward first. It's off the bag. Flip to first, not in time. Good heads up try by Combs, but that kind of tells you that it's been Orono's day here. The ball hitting the first base bag. And so it's a base hit for Walkman. Runners at first and second now with 2 outs. And Early will be the hitter as Kleiss makes a dive and can't get it, and bang, right off the base. Watch Combs, she does a pretty good job, but you see it's way too late by that time.
Well, Kleiss made a great effort. We've seen that determination out of her all day, but Combs, just to back up the play, it shows you how important it is to back up plays.
Early is the batter, drives it into right for a base hit. They're going to send the runner to the plate. Not going to be a throw. The throw comes to third, not in time. 9-1 Spartans. Hit number 4 today for Shelby Early. And Wayzata was a little hesitant in the field there. Right there, possibly, I don't know that they would have had really a legit shot at her anyway there, but.
Well, I don't know if it cost them a run, but I think it cost them an out at third. I think if they would have played that to third, I think they might have got her out. They just didn't seem to react well. This Early, though, what a great game she's played. 10th grader, Orono just has to be happy as can be that they're going to have her back for 2 more years.
She's the type of player that you look at and you say she's so good of a catcher that you would have her in the lineup even if she wasn't that great of a hitter. But here she is 4 for 5 also. So Ahrens will bat. Orono just doing everything right of late here. 9-1 lead.
Unfortunately for Wayzata, the wheels have come off. But for anybody that's ever played golf, that can happen very easily.
Getting a little raindrop or two here late in this game as well. Aaron's offered at that one. 0-2. Just couldn't hold up there. That one misses away. Runner from first will move up here early. So second and third now for Spartans. Change up and Aarons lets it go. 2-2.
Well, she missed the changeup low, and there's no better place to miss a changeup than low.
Kind of an interesting thing when you see a changeup thrown to a slap hitter. It's even harder for them to lay off those, I would think. That one fouled out of play.
Well, Edbom's doing a good job of keeping Maddie Aarons off balance.
And a liner out to left. It's going to hang up long enough to be hauled in. As Buell coming on to make the catch, and Spartans are done in the seventh. They do add one more run in the inning on a three base hits for Orono. 9-1 Spartans as we go to the bottom of the seventh.
What if one day you could no longer speak, walk, feed yourself, or breathe without support, yet you could still think and feel every emotion? That day has already come for thousands of people with ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease, a deadly disease with no cure or effective treatment.
ALS has already destroyed my ability to do many things I love. But with your help, we can find treatments and a cure. Join in the fight against ALS.
And join in the fight for hope. Visit actionals.org.
Boy, this Orono team looks solid, though.
Yeah, they do.
What were they seated?
3 behind Wayzata Hopkins. I suppose all these other teams that had, the past. Bottom of the seventh. One last chance for Wayzata. Reagan Williams will lead it off against Hartman, and a big cut and a miss. Orono blowing open a close game. Boy, Orono, solid efforts both versus Hopkins and now here against Wayzata. They built a lead on Hopkins only to see the Royals string together a huge inning and go ahead. And then Orono coming back. Becky Smith, it sounded like, had the big hit in that one and won it 6-4. And now coming back, blowing open what was a 2-1 game to now lead 9-1.
Well, and when you talk about Becky Smith, watching her play this game, it's not surprising at all that she'd be the player who had the big hit against Hopkins.
And a rip and a miss, and Williams down on strikes. Hartman continuing to mow him down. She is now set down 8 in a row. And Imestad will be the batter here for Wayzata. Time to regroup and start to think about Tuesday now if you're Wayzata here. Looks like they will get their Lake Conference rival Hopkins. Played them a mere 6 times last year. Finished a section runner-up to the Royals. And as I said, I already played them 3 times this year. Won 2 out of those 3.
Well, as you and I said between innings, a lot of respect for this Orono team. They just look solid.
One and one count here, and popped up. It's going to get out of play. You know, you kind of wonder, I mean, any kind of win in this spot would be big for Orono, but the way they've opened this game up late, you wonder if it maybe doesn't give them that extra boost of confidence heading into next week, you know, whether they would see Wayzata or Hopkins in the final. I mean, sure, they would have been okay with a 2-1 win too, just any kind of win in this spot, but to do as much as they did offensively later in the game, I think can only help their confidence. Down the line and right, long run, and the catch is made.
Oh, it's funny how teams match up. I think if I were Orono, I would much rather play Wayzata again than Hopkins again. Orono just seems to have matched up better against Wayzata than they matched up against Hopkins.
Another nice running catch down there in right field by Walkman. That is the 3rd foul ball running catch she has made in this game. 1 in the 1st inning, 1 in the 2nd, and now in the 7th. Palish will hit. Wayzata down to its final out. Pitch just missing for ball 1, and that one had some smoke on it.
Ed Bloom seems to be getting, Hart seems to be getting a little better as she goes on.
Now 1-1. Palish 1 out of 3 today, but has struck out a couple times, including against Hartman, just after Hartman had come in and helped get them out of that jam in the 4th inning. You never really know how the game might have been different if Wayzata had gotten, you know, even one more run or in that inning and tied it 2-2, or even gone ahead, where they certainly had an opportunity to. So you have to really give a pat on the back to Hartman for the way this game is going to end for them too. Pop up, Smith, the shortstop, calls, makes the catch, and the Trojans are done in the 7th as Orono stays unbeaten in this Section 6 tournament, and they will move into the championship round with a convincing 9-1 win. And obviously, the team that goes in unbeaten has that little bit of an edge. They've got some comfort zone or room for error a little bit, and so they will go into the championship and await either Wayzata or Hopkins. Should be interesting.
Well, I just have so much respect here for Samantha Hartman, because to come into a game with bases loaded and 2 balls, in essence, you're coming in halfway thrown under a bus, and you take them out of it, and she did a great job. Very composed, got stronger as she went, and wonderful to see.
So it is Orono downing Wayzata. The Trojans will have to come through the losers bracket. We hope you've enjoyed today's ball game. For Steve Cook and all of our crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Again, your final here in the 6 AAA tournament in Richfield is Orono 9 and Wayzata 1.